Jimmy. Jimmy. Jim James, son!
Welcome back to another episode of the Jim's channel. I'm your host, and today we have this thing. I'm going to be taking a break from fixing on the Toyota Previa because it's just, you know, it's boring doing the same thing over and over and over. So today I have picked up this 2006 Scion XA. I think it's a hatchback. And the story goes that it was sold at a local dealership. The lady never even made one single payment on it. And then it was dumped off at a local car repair shop because it wouldn't run anymore. The car repair shop called me. They said it has no compression and they don't want to deal with it. The dealership doesn't want to deal with it. So they're basically just going to hand it over to me. And I gave them $500 for it. So, unfortunately, it's kind of back here in the corner of my lot. And there's not much space, but let's just take a general look at it. It's not in too bad a shape. The emblem's missing. The grill down here is missing. That's the hood, it's popped. The tires look okay. Missing the inner fender liner, of course. Mirror gone. This is my first look at it along with you, because I'll throw it up on screen. They just texted me and said, hey, we have this, we're going to drop it off at your house. So, oh, there's the mirror. What in what in the fuck? Why even include the mirror? It's just destroyed. Alright, stereo's just chilling in there. Oh, there's your valve cover plastics. Hey, there's two of the hubcaps. Alright. We can only hope the other two are in the trunk. You know, as you know, these are Toyotas, essentially. These have the 1.5 in them. I think they're called the Vits. Or it's like based on an Echo or something like that. These are very reliable, so... You know, for them to have killed this thing... I don't know. They basically told me that they just didn't even care. They checked compression and that was it. They didn't do anything else. So we're gonna see what version of that is true. You know, I've never had a Scion XA. I have had an XB and a TC, but never one of these. Well, it's mostly complete. So can't complain about that. Other than this, I don't know what's going on here. This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Alright, obviously I can't really show you the back because it's sort of just butted up directly with the wall, but let's see if we can. And then we can get to checking out what's wrong with it. I haven't even checked under the hood, so. Looks like they did a pretty bad paint job on that. The tires in the rear are okay. Has plates. Alright. Well, let's go into the hood and see what we got cooking. Probably nothing good. How do you get this damn thing open? Ew.
Ew? It's not a jewel, it's a dirty old piece of crap.
Is there a hood prop rod? Oh, the hood is maroon. Is that the alternator? Oh, that's good. Okay, spark plugs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The rare 7-cylinder Toyota. Well. Uh-oh. Let me, hold on a second. Let me put this hood prop rod up. Okay. Wow, that's, oh, look at that. That's a solid mangling right there. This is something else. We have two coils. We have the connectors. Oh, there's a third coil. Okay. So, oh, and I guess the fourth one is just MIA. My favorite part here is the alternator sitting where the battery should be. and the spark plugs that are in horrific condition. Well, the alternator should be right there, I'm guessing. Oh, look, they've left us the bracketry for the alternator. That's a special treat. At least they left it. Well, alright. I guess I have a new battery for it. Let's chuck a battery in it and see A, how many miles are on it, because I don't know. And B, if we have any compression. I have a compression tester right here. So those are the two main things that we don't really know much about. Let's get right to it. Here are the keys that they gave me. It's got a little guy on it. Don't know what that is, but let's see. I put the battery in the engine. We have, ooh, 217,000 miles. No, thank you. That's not that many for one of these. It's a Toyota product, but yeah, my goodness. So I plugged the compression tester into cylinder 1. Definitely sounds like we don't have compression. Keep in mind all the spark plugs are out of the engine, so let's go see what the numbers are. Oh, 30, that's good. Yeah, that's not good at all. Well, all right then. So after putting the plugs down in the cylinder hole, you know, just for now, they're not the best plugs. I did not put these disgusting ones in there. I just put the other ones that were okay down in there. And doing a relative compression test, every cylinder looks about like this, between 30 and 60 psi, which means we have no compression. So the mechanics were correct on that. I took off the radiator cap, which is not looking so good. And if you look here, that's combustion. So this thing had exhaust gases coming up through the radiator. So the car's got a bad head gasket, and that means we got to take the head off and see what we can do about that. Even though the oil seems to look okay, it's not all milky or anything, but yeah, bad head gasket is what I'm going to go ahead and guess. I'll check the rest of the cylinders just because I don't even know if these are in the correct order. But yeah, something tells me we got a bad head gasket. Lots of room to work in this little engine bay. It's a lot better than, let's say, a V6 Lexus or something. But unfortunately, every bolt is trying to fight me as hard as it can. I'm assuming the person that was in here before didn't really care, just sort of did whatever they did. So hopefully I can get this little glass piece out and we can take a look at the side of the engine. Okay, we are back. As you can see, the hour has dramatically changed. I got taken away from what I was doing by work, but that's everything that I took out. I took out the intake manifold, the intake tubing, the alternator, this little cat, motor mount, side mount, radiator hose assembly. So now we're left with this. Basically, I need to get everything out of the way so I can get towards the timing chain. So the next thing we're going to do is take off the crankshaft pulley so that I can take the valve cover off and pull the timing chain apart and see if the timing chain is intact, you know, or not. And then we will take off the rear exhaust manifold on this vehicle and probably the power steering pump, I would assume. And that should allow us to lift the complete head off of the vehicle and see which part of the gasket has blown. But because all 4 cylinders, more or less, show low compression, I'm guessing the head gasket is failed all the way across, which is unusual. But that's what's going on. So I'm going to end the video here for today and probably pick up a couple days from now when we get everything else taken apart.
Hi, little kitty. Where did you come from? Hello. You're kind of ugly. I'm gonna call you Squinky. I think Squinky is a good name. Got a little tiny skinny tail. Look at that. Whoop. There's nothing left of that tail. Hi, sweetie. Oh, I probably shouldn't be touching you because you feel gross. But that's okay. I'm gonna call this one Squinky. You can be Squinky. How adorable.
Oh, he's got a little thing on his neck there. Gross. Okay, we are back on the Scion. It has been a few weeks. The weather is nice today. Shocker. And as you can see, I've got more stuff taken off of the little Scion here. The engine is tilted sideways. I removed the mounts and dropped it down. I have a lot of the stuff coming off of the head now. The rear manifold, exhaust manifold, is unbolted. And right now, I just took off the harmonic balancer bolt, so I'm gonna try to pull this out by hand. Oh, that came off a lot easier than I thought. That's good. And the little keyway isn't even broken off. I don't know if you can see right there, that little notch, little key right there. A lot of times this will break off and cause problems. This actually comes out. Don't lose this. Okay, I'm gonna put that right back in there. In fact, I might take it and put it somewhere else so I don't lose it. So now that I have all this stuff off, including the harmonic balancer, which I'll put here. The rubber looks pretty nice, actually. The next step is to remove the timing cover, which is a bunch of 10mm bolts. I also have to unplug this crankshaft sensor. So let's get to it, I suppose. I also got to take that water pump off. Okay, that is the valve cover removed. The timing chain had a tiny bit of slack in it, but nothing out of the ordinary. That's perfectly normal. Somebody did not change their oil frequently enough. You know, surprise, surprise. But the actual cam lobes, both of them look fantastic. There's little tiny, you know, basic scoring on them, but nothing that I would be afraid of putting back together. I did get the timing cover loose, and of course, stupid me, what did I do? I forgot to drain the oil. So I had to come in here and drain the oil because it was starting to leak out of the bottom of the timing cover there. So let me put that bolt back in the oil pan, and I can hopefully at this point begin prying the whole timing cover off, because there are normal bolts, none whatsoever holding in the timing cover, not on the bottom nor on the top, not even that one hidden one in the center. So by this point we should be able to take the timing cover off. That was another 35 minutes of fiddling to get this timing cover off. There was one hidden stud right here that I just couldn't see because of this AC hose. And once I took that off, the whole timing cover more or less came off. Let's get down here and take a look. So, the timing is actually in pretty good condition. The guides are not all broken. The chain is in good condition. One thing you have to do on these timing things here is check this rear reluctor wheel. Make sure the reluctor does not spin independently of the crankshaft. That's a very common failure for these, and it's not. I don't know if you can see that little pin right there. That's gonna come in handy a little later. So the tensioner, what I'm gonna have to do is take tension off of the timing chain and remove the timing chain as a whole. You can see there is one of the timing marks, which means the other two should be up here. Yeah, so there's another timing mark right there. And there's another one right there. So we need to make sure that the engine is in time before I take the chain off. So I will do that by putting the #1 cylinder to top dead center, and then I will pop this timing chain off. But I think probably that's where I'm gonna stop today, because I need to go get a special triple bit square for the head bolts, because once I take this chain off, I'm gonna take the two camshafts out, and these camshafts are hiding right there, the triple, and you can see that in there where all that gunk is built up. It's called a triple square bit. It's a 12mm, I believe. So that's gonna be what's coming up next. Well, I thought it was the end of the video, and of course I cannot stop fiddling in some hole, and that is the camshafts taken out. That is the rear camshaft, that is the forward camshaft, that is the timing chain. The tensioner is somewhere around here. Those are the bearing caps. I've already put the rear bearing caps back into it just to hold them in place for now. And of course, because the internet is just constantly wrong on everything, even though I've gone to the forums, talked to people who own these, etc., etc., not one of these triple square bit sockets fit. Not one. Not the 6, not the 8, not the 10, not the 12. It's a 9. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. Of course it's a 9. Why wouldn't it be a 9? It has to be the 9. Can't be any of the ones they sell locally or in store. It's got to be the one that you import from fucking Shinjuku. It takes 2 weeks. So I got to go find a 9mm triple square bit, and then maybe we can finally get this freaking head off. It has been like a month I have been trying to do this, and all I've succeeded at is making a mess. Some of you will say, Jimmy, that's not the right way to keep all your components in order. And no, it's not. Had I paid more than $600 or $500 or whatever it was for the car, I would be more worried. But considering the condition, I'm not that worried. So let's come back when I can find the frickin' 9mm. So I think that's going to be the end of part 1. I need to find that 9mm Capri Tools triple square bit, and it looks pretty elusive, so I'm going to have to go hunting for that piece. No one locally has it. I'm letting the Previa's battery charge because, of course, I didn't drive it for a month and a half, and the battery went dead. Who knows why, it just did. So I need to go take it for a drive and charge the battery. So yeah, we'll be back on this one soon enough. Part 2 will hopefully show the head being reconditioned at the shop, and then I can attach everything on and see if the car even works. Realistically, probably should have just scrapped this one, but you know me, I get sentimental around old pieces of junk, and I have to resurrect everything I can possibly find. But it is what it is, so I will catch you guys in the next part, and always, I appreciate you watching, so I will see you in the next one. Bye!